I have made no secret of the general trial and tribulation of my existence right now. There is so much. It is always a lot. Every morning I wake up and I'm like, really? Again? And every morning the answer is yes, again. And we get up and we do it again. But I was thinking about it this morning and I realized that life right now feels like putting on a pair of jeans immediately out of the shower. We're going to get through it, but it's going to be difficult and it's probably going to feel sticky. And I can't think of a more apt description. And I don't think it's just me. I think that's a universal experience, at least in the US right now. So get your pants on or don't. Don't put jeans on. That's awful. But yeah, I would imagine we have the same problem with leggings, right? But jeans specifically. Put your pants on or don't. But just know that if it feels like a struggle, it's not just you. And I am undoubtedly going to get my foot stuck in the leg of one of them and fall over relatively soon. So you can come join me. It's such a universal feeling. Have you seen The Newsroom? There's an episode where he says that the pants are cut wrong because he can't put them on right. And he makes a comment about how he's so smart. And somebody's like, really? Because you just told us that you can't put your pants on. And then later that episode, he has to rush to get the pants on. And you see him falling out from behind a curtain because he couldn't get his leg in. That's what it feels like. I was about to say, yeah, but skinny jeans are trendy now. And then I realized that skinny jeans were trendy literally 20 years ago. All right, here we go. I'm going to pretend I'm pushing record because that feels right. Okay, I'm pressing record. Boop. Hi, everybody. I'm Lauren Howard. Welcome to Different, Not Broken, which is our podcast on exactly that there are a lot of people in this world walking around feeling broken, and the reality is you're just different, and that's fine. Friends, last Sunday, I did so much peopling that I still have not recovered. So much that I'm just realizing that it wasn't even last Sunday, it was the Sunday before. That's how bad I burned out my social battery. That's how much out of the house I did. That's how much logistics I did. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Orlando, but in Orlando, our swanky area, I guess one of them, the oldest swanky area is Winter Park. There's an area in Winter Park that's called Park Avenue that has all of the upscale stores, the restaurants that charge $30 for an omelet and charge you more to deconstruct things so that you have to put them together instead of just giving you a plate of food you can eat. They're like, here's a deconstructed gazpacho. And you're like, why did you just bring me tomato soup with cilantro on the side? That doesn't make sense. Anyway, they're very impressed with themselves. And to their credit, I have eaten at a number of them and all of them were very good. But I am a person who will happily eat a gas station hot dog. I'm not their target demo. I will very happily go to them. I will find something to eat there. I will probably really enjoy it, 100%. But they look at me and they're like, oh, she might have showered in the last week. This is interesting. But it's lovely. I really like the area. It's well manicured. There's green space. The nightmare is the parking, but we went very early one day, so there wasn't really a parking issue. But Natasha, who's a dear friend of mine, got a makeup class or something in a silent auction. And so she asked me if I wanted to go. And I was like, you want to play with makeup for 2 hours? Yes, absolutely. We went. And there were a bunch of people there. And I forget how much of a jackass I am around a bunch of new people until I'm around a bunch of new people being a jackass. So there were all of the people who were there. And then there were the people who worked at the store because it was like a class that was held at a makeup store. And there was me. And we were there for several hours. And I could not stop making smart-ass comments to the group, which everybody laughed at. I don't think I was actually annoying people. Now in hindsight, I'm like, oh God, was I annoying people? But I don't think I was. I think we were cool. I was like, man, it's been a long time since I've been in a room of strangers small enough that everybody could hear the stupid shit that goes on in my head and then it sometimes accidentally comes out of my mouth. But they all could. They did laugh, which is really bad. If you want me to stop, don't laugh. I'm like a toddler who said the F word. I'm going to keep saying the F word now because you laughed. First off, being a full nerd, I think they thought that they were dealing with a bunch of makeup novices, which most people were, which is totally cool. But I am not a makeup novice, and I have a whole chest of drawers next to my desk that has makeup in it that I play with every day, and I try new stuff all the time, and I spend way more money on makeup than I should, considering how much makeup I have. But I don't care. And so they were like, okay, so this is a primer, and you put this on your face before. And so the woman came over and was like, what would you say that your makeup understanding is? And I was like, I have 18 different foundations that I choose from each day. And she was like, so some experience. Okay. And so then they wanted to bring me all the products, hoping I would buy all of the products. So she was like, well, I'm going to bring you over this one because this is a brand you can't get anywhere else or very few other places. So I know you haven't tried this yet. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, she was very cute. She was very sweet. And then I was sitting at the same table as Natasha's mother, who is a fucking delight, a lovely, wonderful person who I wanted to take home in my pocket. Her mom doesn't wear a ton of makeup. And so I couldn't not do my makeup like I always do. And so I'm sitting there and I've got all the tools in front of me and I'm putting it on my face and I'm doing all the things that you do for, I don't know. I felt like a full nerd. And she's watching me the whole time and she keeps going, wow, you're really good at this. Wow. No, you really know what you're doing. How did you make that look like that? And I'm like, first off, I can show you. I'm happy to show you. But also these professional makeup artists who actually know what they're doing will show you too. That's why they're standing by. So anyway, I became the spectacle, which is pretty on brand. Did several hours there. And then we went to brunch and I had a wonderful waspy brunch. I don't even know how to describe it, but it was supposed to be Mediterranean fusion or something. I don't know. I saw Eggs Benedict on the menu and I was like, that please. But it's one of those places where you order food and you get food. The food doesn't come with a side because you're fancy and you have to order a separate side. Not that I needed the side, but it was still that's the kind of place it was. Everything's a la carte. Except for the cheeseburger. And riddle me this, they have a menu full of really expensive, really the type of food you cannot get anywhere else. Specialized stuff, all sorts of fancy ingredients, stuff that even somebody like me was like, this feels like I'm not going to have any other opportunity to try this. So I want to try it, even though I'm probably going to hate it. One of the people who was with us looked at the server and was like, I'm between this and the cheeseburger. Which should I get? And he was like, oh, definitely the cheeseburger. Our cheeseburger's really good. And I'm like, good for you. I support you. But also, I don't feel like you're supposed to come here and get a cheeseburger. And why is your cheeseburger that good? Why would you have a stellar cheeseburger at this crazy, fusiony, very expensive place? And you're like, nope, get the $16 cheeseburger. It's better. That doesn't make sense to me. That feels like there's a failure somewhere else. I didn't get the cheeseburger and I was a little regretful because it did look really good. We did brunch and I stepped into 2026 because I had to leave a little bit early from brunch before they had settled everything out. And so I got my phone out and I was like, can I Venmo you the money for my meal? Because I got to go. And that's the first time I've ever done that. Probably because I'm usually always paying for the meal. I usually go out with a bunch of mooches is really what it is. So I felt very Gen Z, I was with the times, which those times are actually 5 years ago. I literally got into my car, drove the 40-ish minutes home, changed my clothes. My kids came home. They had been out. We jumped right back in the car. I literally just left a meal. Just. Got back in the car, drove over to my mom's house, picked her up, took her out to early dinner for her birthday. For the record, not because she wanted to go to early dinner, but because I am exceptionally old and I don't want to be out past bedtime. So my mother, who was turning an age that I will be immediately struck down from heaven if I say on a live microphone, I will not say, but on that day was turning that age and should be the one who cares about early bird specials, was like, why do you want to go eat so early? And I was like, why do you want to go eat so late? She's like, I want to go eat at 7. And I was like, no. So we went very early, but we took her to a very nice restaurant. We took her to the Melting Pot, which is a nice restaurant. It's just meat and things you put on meat. It's basically just repetitive meat and cheese, which is not a problem for me at all. It's all sorts of dipping. It's fondue, but it's all sorts of dipping of meat and cheese in different patterns, which is my happy place. But then we did that, and then we were there for several hours, and then we did birthday, and then I finally got home. It was probably only 6:30 when we got home, and I was like, I'm spent. I talked to so many people today. I did so many things. And I remembered to get the balloon bouquet for the table, which I should get some sort of award for. And by remembered, I mean, I checked the box when I made the reservation, but it did feel like I remembered to do something. And then we got to the table and my mom reminded me that she hates balloons. And I was like, oh, that is a thing that you've said for literally my entire life. I forgot. Awesome. But man, I can't think of a day in the recent past outside of when we were at a conference and I knew that it was going to be like morning to night peopling, and I still escaped momentarily throughout the day to recharge and get a soda and find some solace and put my AirPods in and noise cancel the whole world. Like, I can't think of a day that I have peopled that hard in a very long time. There were 2 meals. There was a whole class where a bunch of people were touching me. I didn't karate chop anyone. There were people looking at me while I was doing stuff, and I didn't freak out. And nobody said that I was being weird. And that is probably the biggest victory. So, all I'm saying is, if you need me for anything in the next 6 weeks, no, you don't.